my job was probably the best job in drum and bass in many ways. And how could I possibly not be ecstatically happy all the time?
So yeah, hospital 25 years later. You talked about it in a few other podcasts, but decision to step down later this year. Tell me a bit how you came to that conclusion.
It was quite long, actually, because having kind of invested absolutely everything, all my time, my energy, my inspiration into hospital, and kind of weaponized all of my ridiculously crazy ideas for the label. And it's kind of built on that foundation. I always assumed that it was going to be like that forever. But what I didn't bargain for was the success of the label. When a business is successful, it grows. You can't have a successful business and try and stop it from growing. And the effect that had on me was I knew the company was growing. I sort of knew that I was a bit happier before when it was smaller. But I thought, oh, it'll be right. It'd be fine. But as it grew and grew, I became less and less happy and more unhappy. And that's got nothing to do with the artists or the staff. It's just that if you're the figurehead of a business and that business grows to a certain size, suddenly it changes and it becomes corporate with a multi-layered management structure. Suddenly you have to abide by all of these employment rules, these business rules like GDPR, and kind of like it became exactly the thing that I rebelled against when I first went into the music industry. And I did not want to become a suit, as we call them. So for me, it's always been about creativity, about music and people. It has never been about industry and corporate governance and, not about that for me. So I only realized last year that I was just too unhappy to stay. And the company is great. It's doing really well. Brilliant staff team and great body of artists. And I feel very good about that, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to go. I wouldn't be able to step forward from it if I felt that me stepping forward would be a threat to the company. But it's not, because I've actually delegated everything that I was doing. The only thing that hospital's not going to have is my ears and my crazy ideas. But it's got everything else.
So I heard you say on another podcast that you were feeling this like unhappiness for quite a few years, like maybe going back to 2017, 2018 already. And I know it's something that a lot of people might go through at some point in their life of feeling unhappy, but really putting your finger on what is causing that unhappiness can be really hard.
Yeah.
So like in your case, like how did you manage to like put your finger on, okay, it's hospital, it's this that's causing this unhappiness? Because from the outside, it's like, what else would you want?
Well, I know, and that was what made it so difficult, because I've always known, like, as hospital became successful, I've always known that my job was probably the best job in drum and bass in many ways. And how could I possibly not be ecstatically happy all the time, having the best job in drum and bass? And for many years I was genuinely blown away by what had happened as a result of kind of like my crazy ideas, the incredible hard work of the team, of Chris Goss and everybody who believed in the vision, believed in my vision and made it happen. It worked, you know, the plan came together and it worked. So it was fantastic. But like I said, when suddenly, well, it felt suddenly, it wasn't, it was gradually, when it becomes so big that there is no room for crazy ideas anymore. Because the crazy idea will just rattle around in this huge room and kind of like beat itself against the walls. You know, you can't shape the company on crazy ideas anymore when it's a certain size. So it took me a long time to realize this is actually what was making me happy, making me unhappy, because it's a dream job, you know.
Yeah.
How could it?
Yeah. Was there also an aspect of not being able to dedicate enough time to like music, for example, and things like that you started off doing?
Actually, no, funnily enough, because everyone at the label has always been more than accommodating when I've gone into an album phase. So, and with the last album I made on Hospital, Building Better Worlds, I was very, very happy in the studio, and I didn't feel pressurized to not do it, to not make it, and I needed to make it, and I did, and I was very, very pleased with it, and I am now, you know, very proud of that album. So, no, I think everyone in the label always knew that it was an important part of the label that I would be making albums and making quite eclectic original drum and bass albums, you know, because that's a kind of signifier of the Hospital's intent, really.